This might sound like a slight exaggeration, but there are roughly like 1,000 workout programs and 1,000 diets out there. And you probably tried a few of them at least, where you try one for a week or two and you're just like, I don't know about this one. I'm going to go ahead and try another one. You try that one for a few weeks and you're just like, I don't know if I like this. And you just take a break because you're like, I'm kind of sick of this whole dieting thing. It's not really probably for me. And then a few weeks go by and you're like, you know what? No, I got to do something. I got to make something happen. So you go on another diet and you're like, I can do this for maybe a month. And then I just want to give up the whole thing again. And that's a really tough cycle to be in. I've been in something similar, but I had no foundation on diet. Like I didn't understand like anything about the amount you're supposed to eat compared to how much like you weigh and activity and all this kind of stuff, which we're going to talk about in this video. But once I was able to figure out what I'm about to share, I was able to lose a bunch of body fat in 8 months while building muscle and boost my energy through the roof. And just for the sake of context, I figured this out 12 years ago, and I'm actually in way better shape than I was 12 years ago after getting in shape. And just by following what I'm about to share, it is super, super cool, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It's not terribly complex, and it's just broken into 8 steps, so it's easy to follow. And some of these steps literally take just a mental flip, and that's all it is. Some of the other ones are a little bit more involved. Without further ado, we're going to get right into this, starting with number 1, which is the number 1 most important thing. I might get a little animated with this, but it is that important. It is understanding that you have to have a deep, burning internal desire to make it happen no matter what. Because if you only got that right, and you did the world's worst workout program and the world's worst diet, that falls within the principles of dieting, you'll get better results than someone who just kind of doesn't really care, but is on the best workout program and the best diet. Because the people that don't really care will have one hardship and they'll just throw it out the window like, I'll just do it later. And someone who has that burning desire is like, wow, this diet is absolutely horrible, but I am making it happen no matter what. And that is the biggest difference. You have to figure out what that means for you. For me, in the very beginning, it was my grandma came over and called my face fat after not seeing her for a long time, and that hit me to my core. I took that so seriously that I stepped on the scale the next morning at like 196 pounds, which to a lot of people are just like, oh, well, what's the big deal about that? You're like 5'11". I mean, that's pretty normal. Well, hold on. I graduated high school at 145 pounds, and that was my normal. That was my normal. I thought I was still that weight. But over 5 years after high school, I had gained 50 pounds nice and slow. Not to the point where anyone said anything or noticed anything. But then when I looked in the mirror, I'm like, okay, I have twig arms and a gut. It's like you take a potato and you put some sticks in it, and I'm just like, that was me. It felt horrible to have that realization happen. Look in the mirror, I'm like, I don't want that. So that same day when I stepped on the scale, I went to the gym. I had a membership for 4 months and never went, well, except to sign up, which my mom was like, here's your birthday present. Go ahead and have a gym membership. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. Never used it until that point. But from that point on, I started hitting the gym 7 days a week because I thought that's what you were supposed to do, is like, be really active and hit the gym and do a lot of cardio and do all the workout stuff, because that's how you lose weight. But we're going to get into that in a moment. But even then, I pieced all the pieces together, pieces of the puzzle, put them together, and within 8 months, I completely transformed my body. Dropped the body fat, got abs for the first time, like legitimate abs where you can like actually see the separation, built some muscle, and it was just like energy was through the roof compared to what I had before at 23 compared to like the end of 23. And that was just really, really cool to have that happen. And with that said, we're going to break down the 8 steps so you can figure out how to put it all together as well and not worry about, oh, am I on the perfect diet? Am I on the perfect workout program? No, just follow these principles and you'll be able to make it happen. The next thing we want to do is focus on diet over exercise. Now, exercise obviously important, but it is not the primary mover in terms of weight loss. What you put in your body is what you get out of it. Meaning, if you're eating too much, you're going to store the extra as body fat. If you're not eating enough, you're going to use body fat as energy to make up the difference for your body. And that's how you lose the body fat. It's just by using it for energy. It's a very simple, straightforward formula and how it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on that diet, and we'll talk about exercise in a bit. Now, what we need to do in terms of the diet is we need to figure out the third thing, which is how much do you need to eat? And the best way to figure it out that I've found is by using a TDEE calculator, total daily energy expenditure calculator. You can find them on Google and fill in all your details: your age, your height, your weight, your gender, your activity across the day. If one can factor in step count, that's cool. If they can factor in your job, that's cool too. If they can factor in like your workout type and how often you do it, that's cool too. But the whole point of this is to get you an estimated starting point based on you, not just some like, oh, eat 2,000 calories a day. That's just for like nutrition info, which I don't understand how that's related. But anyway, that's a different topic for a different day. The point is you want to figure out your energy expenditure for the day. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop that number by 300 to 500 as your starting point to see how your body responds to that many calories. And that is how we do it. That's our starting point. Number 4 is we're going to go ahead and eat 120 grams of protein per day or more. That is the minimum. And this is pretty much good for most people. I mean, if you're going to be doing like bodybuilding or strength training, like serious like powerlifting or like strongman, maybe eat some more. This is not a rule for everyone to eat only 120 grams. It is the minimum. And male, female, doesn't matter. Height, weight doesn't really matter. That it should be the minimum for pretty much everyone, barring health complications. But that is not my specialty or my field of practice whatsoever. Consult your doctor. So the next thing here we're going to talk about is number 5, which is stop drinking calories. Just plain and simple, don't drink calories. Whether it's like sodas or juice or even sometimes milk, like if you understand that it is so easy to drink 1,000 calories of drinks per day without thinking about it, then you might want to just like sit there and reflect on that. The fact that if you have like 2 20-ounce sodas, a glass of milk, glass of juice, and that's it, you're like about 800 calories right there. And then you have meals. You have your regular meals on top of that, which in a lot of cases for people are also too much. So you factor in the high calorie meals plus the high calorie drinks. It's better off to just stick to some things like water, black coffee, teas, herbal or green or black tea, seltzer. I'm going to say this in public, like out loud, diet soda without caffeine, very nice. But that's just my opinion. My opinion for me, that's what I do. That's what I'm going to say, because a lot of people, they get up in arms about diet soda, even though it has no adverse effects that anyone can ever prove in science or otherwise. But that's a whole different discussion, again, for another day. But if you stop drinking calories, it's going to make such a big difference. And yes, this does include alcohol. Just my opinion, though. So the next thing we want to talk about, which I got my notes here in case you're wondering what the heck I was looking at. Number 6 is we're going to track everything every single day. Every calorie, every condiment, every meal, every snack, every bite of anything. We're going to track it in a free app like MyFitnessPal and put it in there every single day. And if you are not planning ahead, you'll see how fast the calories add up. And then you'll learn how to plan ahead for the day so you can actually just go ahead and eat the food and know that you're going to be on track because you've entered in all that calorie information into MyFitnessPal when you set up your account. And I can actually make an in-depth like MyFitnessPal tutorial in the future. If you want that, let me know in the comments. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to track every single thing. And those first 6 things are huge. If you don't even exercise right, or if you start doing like jumping jacks as your entire workout program, you're going to lose weight. It's really cool, because I actually was able to lose weight with a shoulder injury where I could barely walk without it hurting or put a t-shirt on, still able to lose weight just through diet. So now we're actually going to get on to exercise, the last 2 things. So as far as like resistance training, I think it is one of the most important things you can do for exercise. Simply put, train the whole body across the week and split it up into 3 days. The reason why I'm so big on the 3-day workout routines is because a lot of people are having big trouble. A lot of people are having trouble fitting 4, 5, 6 days into their work weeks and their daily weeks and their stuff they got to do. But most people can fit 3 days in without much of a problem. Like people who are firefighters were able to fit the 3-day a week that I worked with. People who are nurses and CNAs and all these different weird scheduled jobs that they work like 12-hour to 15 to 24-hour shifts or 72-hour shifts like the firefighter. So like there's a lot of these really crazy shifts, and 3 days can still work. If you're training every day, might be a little bit complicated to fit that in. And I know most people don't work those crazy hours, but sometimes like you're just getting tired. You have your stressful work week sometimes, and then you have your home life. Like you got to handle stuff at home and do all that. And then you got to do this and that and all this stuff. And it's like the last thing you're really worried about is like, oh, I got to hit the gym. Even if you like the gym. I love the gym. I brought the gym home. And there are some days where I'm just like, I don't have it in me. So 3 days a week is good because you have 4 days of recovery, and that's a good way to go. And so the last thing, which actually, no, sorry, I got to add a little bit more to that. Push, pull, legs, 3 days, or upper, lower, upper, and then the next week is lower, upper, lower, or full body, full body, full body. Those are your 3 primary options for a 3-day workout routine. All of them are excellent. Pick the one you like, run with it for at least 6 weeks, and then assess from there. Now, the next thing is walk at least 5,000 steps a day. Everyone and their mother is saying, and their aunt, uncle, and cousin is saying 10,000 steps a day is the magical number. It does make a difference if you have the time. I made a whole video about 10,000 steps a day, and I just essentially summarize it in one line inside this video. But if you want to watch that video, I really paint a detailed picture about the 10,000 steps a day issue and to do this instead, essentially this video instead. Go check it out. It's an interesting one. It was a fun time, in my opinion, but I'm of course very biased because I like these videos. So those are the steps. But there is one bonus step I wanted to add in here, which is the cool thing with all these is if you are able to do them every single week, some of these things every single day, and remind yourself what these things are important to you for, you're gonna build some very strong habits. You're gonna build all the skills and abilities that you need to control your body weight at will. And that is a very powerful thing because you can apply this to different types of diets. You can do a low carb. You could do a vegan diet. You could do a carnivore diet, go complete opposite side of the spectrum there. You can do any diet preference that you like because it fits within those principles. And that's the cool thing. So it doesn't matter if you like Mexican food more than Indian food or Italian food, or like it doesn't matter. You can fit all kinds of diets in these principles, and sometimes you can fit them all together in the same day. It'd be tricky, but I bet you can do it. Anyway, that's that. Super helpful, at least for me. That's how I've done this for so long and not like got out of shape or anything like that. So it's really cool. If you have questions, let me know in the comments. Go check out my other 2 videos that right here on the channel. If you see either of these, find them interesting, check them out. Of course, I always invite you to go to fitdadinnercircle.com/program to check out my program, and I will see you in the next one.